Welcome to the chase, where the sense of thrill. Ben and John are here, making time stand still. Diving deep where others just pretend. They are kind on this journey, chasing descent. Descent. True hits of stride, don't be content. Join the chase, be omnipresent. With Ben and John, no time is misspent. On the trail, with chasing descent. With chase it descent.
Are we on? Or are we having our other intro?
That was a hum.
That was a hum.
The world's hum. Dun 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 dun. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Oh God!
Oh, my talents are wasted.
They really are. Yeah, you should have stayed in the police.
I should have stayed somewhere. Anyway, so yeah. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Rabbit Hole, where Burrow has started a little earlier this evening because, believe it or not, Ben and I will be live at 10 and going on to the wee small hours as we await with bated breath the results.
God, we're so screwed. We're just the United Kingdom might as well just chuck it in the loo and flush it down the toilet. Oh dear, I don't envy you having to listen to all of that nonsense though.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I'm used to it. I've been listening to Ben for 2 years, you know.
Oh dear! Right,
I could do with a few drinks, Brett. Mate, you're right, but unfortunately, I'm off the drink. I'm trying to lose weight. Although
Look, rules are made to be broken, and exceptions are allowed to be made, especially when it comes to listening to cockwombles on election nights.
That
That's true.
it's an early one, but it's true. Yeah, you're right. And my wife did drag me to Booker this morning, and we ended up with a fantastic buy. We got a pork belly for £9.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but I mean a whole pork belly,
Oh, wow.
like this long,
Right. Oh,
like
okay.
5 kilos of meat
Bloody
for
hell.
£9.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And pork belly is so good. It's
Oh
just
no, it's
so
gorgeous.
much. Can do so many different things with it too.
You Muslims out there, you don't know what you're missing.
That's like when I go to Egypt. If I'm on a week's holiday, I don't really notice it. If I'm there for 2 weeks, after a week, I'm craving bacon like a crazy
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, yeah. You can't trust anyone that doesn't eat bacon, drink bacon.
Oh, it's gonna be
Get
a
the
long night for
liquidizer.
you.
Get the liquidizer out. I'm going to liquidize some bacon.
Ew.
Oh, God. Right. The hum. So this thing all started with localized hums, didn't it? You know, like the Taos hum, the Windsor hum, the Bristol hum, the Largs hum. There's hums all over the world.
Yeah,
And-
it's
And then there's the World Hum. And did you know there's a World Hum database?
that I didn't know.
So there you go. I mean, it's amazing the things you learn. Hold on a second. Oh, I've stupidly not added the photograph. Allow me to do that as we chat aimlessly to each other. So yeah, there's a World Hum, and there's a database. The guy that started it. Oh, good grief! Give me a second. I'm no Joe Biden, but I am swiftly getting there. I am swiftly getting there. Indeed. There we go. The hum map. It's a coming. There we go. Right. So this is identified sources of the hum, the world hum. Okay. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. Now, you may notice that many of them are the predominant reports are in English-speaking countries. That's because until very recently, the website was in English only. But as they've changed it, they've started to come in from other places. So you can see that the hum isn't really. It's not really. It's not focused on one particular area.
No.
It's all over.
Although I mean, there are some distinct places where, as you say, places like this: Windsor, Bristol, Kokomo in Indiana, Auckland,
Mhm.
Largs in Scotland, Sydney,
Yep.
Bondi in Australia, Sausalito, California, Woodland, Washington, Viborg, Denmark, Viborg, don't know, I might be mangling that one. Hythe in Hampshire, and Taos, and that isn't even the only location in New Mexico. So, I mean, a bit of cursory research kind of reveals that it's a complete mystery. I mean, there's a lot of
Well, some of them have been kind of narrowed down to particular things, like the Largs hum. There's a good chance it's to do with the nuclear power plant that's just round the corner.
sure.
The Windsor hum, there's for some reason a lot of the people in Windsor seem to report a hum at 120 hertz, and this is Windsor, Canada, I think, and that's the mains frequency. So they're maybe hearing that, but the hum is this. It's a low frequency noise that people identify and say they can hear. They can't really tie it down to an area, and And there was this Dr. McPherson guy in Canada, decided to start trying to track it down. He turned all the power off in his house and the hum got louder. You know, he went and sat in his car and the hum didn't go away. So he did all these things and started driving about at night, and driving up logging trails, driving into cities, and he couldn't avoid the hum. It was always there. So there's been a number of different things. Like, I mean, the thing is, there's only 2 to 4% of people in the world can hear the hum. So are they attuned to it?
Well, I mean, there were some theories that I came across while I was exploring that suggest that perhaps some people are more sensitive to electromagnetic radiation than others.
Well,
And
that's a good point.
It's perhaps those people that can hear the hum.
Mhm.
I did also investigate whether there was any connection with the Schumann resonance, because that's a very low frequency as well. And there are others that have postulated there might be a connection, but there's no actual proof of a link. And I mean, machinery, it's possible that in certain parts of the world, maybe the ground conducts that vibration more efficiently. So if you have a power plant or some sort of other industrial plant that's
Mhm.
quite far away, so far away that you wouldn't necessarily automatically infer a link, but that somehow is being sent through the earth. Don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
one of those fascinating mysteries.
yeah, there's been loads of things about it and loads of investigations. It's even appeared in the X Files. The hum.
Did it? I don't
Yeah.
remember that one.
David Duchovny, I think, said he mentioned the Teos hum because I think they were looking into that other phenomenon, the bang. The loud banging noise that I think that was in Pennsylvania or something. They never ever tracked that one down. So some of the things that have been suggested for the hum, particularly the large one, that's fish. Schools of fish rubbing against each other.
What? Schools of fish? No. No.
No, seriously.
Who the hell suggested that one? That's absurd.
That is absurd.
That's like a 5 bottle of whiskey idea or something stupid. What the hell? Fish rubbing together?
Yeah, Harold says the Teos hum was mentioned on the X Files. Stuart Campbell says me and the wifey hear it all the time here in Derby, UK. Well, that may be a localized hum. So we've got to we do have to differentiate between the localized hum and the world hum.
Oh dear. Brit Makes thinks it's actually Scully's nips to blame.
Don't start on that one again. Have you seen them?
I'm not commenting.
I'm
Oh,
speechless.
dear.
I don't know what to say. Right. So what else? Where else are we? Matthew Blackman says he's in Bristol. He'd never heard of this, but my already existing tinnitus has got lots worse in the last year. Well, tinnitus is well, right. There's a couple of reasons for that, Matthew. One, you're getting older. I hate to tell you, but you are, and your tinnitus will probably get worse. Two, people that get older get tinnitus if they didn't have it before. Three, tinnitus is a much higher frequency than the hum. The hum's very low frequency. I think we're talking.
Although
well
there are
below-
similarities. I mean,
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of
There are. Of
it's
course there
because
are.
I mean I have tinnitus that goes up and down.
Oh, I have tinnitus. I have tinnitus as well, and it's
I sometimes
constant.
I sometimes wonder if it's not connected to solar storms and the weakening electromagnetic field around the planet. Just a pet theory.
It could be a pet theory, but
it's age, possibly scuba diving as well. But it's I mean the
scuba
thing is
diving
that they're
wouldn't
not exactly the same, and the sound the frequency is different. But the fact that some people hear it and some don't, and that do the people who hear it everywhere, or is it just in certain locations?
well, they hear it, but it's very, very faint, so they tend to only notice it when it's quiet.
Well, the fact is that the planet is a massively electrical thing. We're all
Yeah, it
electrical.
is. Yeah, we are.
Sound vibrations are effectively vibrations in the air, which could theoretically, I'm not saying they're electrical, but it's I don't know. Things that operate on levels that we're not aware of. What now?
I'm gonna have to put this comment up. It's horrendous. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I get tinnitus after hearing Ben on the show.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he can be a bit shouty. We're trying to beat that out of him. But
It's not working.
the bloop. Well, the bloop's actually a thing as well because you've heard that. You know that bloop noise in the ocean. Have you heard it?
No.
You need to hear the bloop. But yeah,
Is that not just
Adam, see if you can get us a link to the bloop.
a water bubble in the ears?
Oh no, it's mental. It was really loud, I think, because it got picked up by like underwater sonar or submarine detectors or something. Right. Anyway, where were we? Natural
Well-
gas pipelines. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, some of the explanations are electrostatic discharges. Did you
Mhm.
know there are 8 million lightning strikes in the world every day?
I didn't know what the exact number was, but I knew it's a lot.
8 million.
And also
every
Ben Davidson over
day.
at Suspicious Observers is always talking about the global electromagnetic circuit.
Well, yeah.
Does he call it no? Global electromagnetic something. But there's electricity that comes in at the poles from the sun and from
Yeah.
space, and that gets
Charged
bounced.
particles.
Yeah, charged particles, and they
Yeah.
basically get funneled in at the poles.
They do.
And then that energy has to get dissipated because the Earth is basically a giant capacitor.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's also where you sometimes get lightning that goes upwards.
Well,
There was-
lightning usually does go upwards. It's just it travels that fast that you can't see it. You get a leader coming down, and then the bolt comes from the ground up.
yeah, but in some cases there's ground something lightning that doesn't actually have a leader that's coming from the clouds, and it basically just goes straight up. There was some videos circulating of a volcano that I can't remember where it was, but that was a brilliant video of this upward directed lightning, and it's crazy. So then we're talking about levels of electromagnetic charge and charged particles and stuff that are actually difficult to comprehend on a planetary scale.
So the chat room are discussing tinnitus, which is a valid problem, and tinnitus is suffered by up to 85% of the population at some point or another. So there are a number of ways of reducing tinnitus temporarily, right? If you stick your fingers in your ears for a couple of minutes, right, and pull them out, you may find it has gone away temporarily, right? Then there is massaging the back of your head, where either side of where your spinal cord goes into your head. If you massage there, if you give that a good massage for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, then it can go away as well. So there's quite a few different techniques for getting
So
rid
it could
of
be
tinnitus.
stress related as well, because
Could well
those
be.
muscles that you mentioned, that's where a lot of us hold our stress and tension in the shoulders and
Yeah.
neck.
Yeah, and let's face it, if you're going to have stress and tension, it's going to be right now, isn't it? With the threat of nuclear thermonuclear war hanging over you.
Yeah, especially when you know your country is led by just people who've got no business running countries. And
Well, it's like when you saw that tweet today, Ed, when that guy said, you know, what does America do that or Britain doesn't really do anything that's better than America. And I said, well, at least our prime minister can still string a sentence together.
Well, I have my regrets about tweeting that because my notifications have just gone absolutely totally potty, and there's arguments starting between people, and I never get involved in stuff like that because life is too short to argue with people.
Oh,
on
you
Twitter,
just
but-
throw in the hand grenade and then run away.
Well, not
That's what you do.
intentionally.
Yeah,
All I was doing
yeah.
was pointing out that English
You know-
breakfasts are better than American
Yeah,
breakfasts.
but you know what they call people that do that? Trolls.
Oh, well, I wasn't trying to troll anyone. I was just making a point about breakfast.
Yeah,
And
okay.
but it's one of those times. Twitter is a funny place because you can post something in it that you think is really cool, or retweet something you think is really cool, and it doesn't get any traction, and you just bash something out and send it, and suddenly your stuff's going crazy.
Right, so I hate to break it to you, Ed, but you and I are probably much of this. We're not that distant in age, right? And outlook, really, because we're both pretty. We both come from a similar kind of IT-ish background, and I hate to break it to you, mate, but we're really not fucking cool.
And who said it
So-
was?
So anything that you think is cool, you probably need to sit back and go, I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to tweet that and then go, hold on, maybe I need to check.
No. Well, no, that is the beauty of Twitter. Is you just say
just
whatever you like,
fire
and
it out there.
hope you don't get
Shit.
hope you don't get suspended, which is not that hard these days. But no, I was making no assumptions that I was cool. I might be cool in my own head, but I don't care. And it's one of those. Who cares what other people think in that regard, anyway?
Yeah, B12 doesn't work for me.
It's really not that important.
Ray says B12 will cure tinnitus. It doesn't work for me.
Plus, people who listen to nonsense like Taylor Swift have got no business accusing anyone of being uncool.
But there wasn't. Who was it that was at it? Was it Keith? Was it Keith?
How
Was it Keith Starmer?
well, no, but we've had 2 weeks of those political idiots. Just it's they've got no ideas, particularly the Tories.
No, the best one has to be Ed
Just-
Davey. What's Ed Davey on? What's he trying to prove? I mean, the guy.
Goes bungee jumping.
I mean, he goes bungee jumping. I saw him dancing. He's like, what is he trying to prove? The guy's. I mean, he looks like an egg on legs, and here he is doing all these stupid. And see the bungee jump that didn't really end well. He just ended up hanging himself upside down for a couple of minutes, didn't he? Like when Boris got stuck on the. Remember when Boris gets stuck on the zip line? Do-do-do.
I've got a
And-
perfect cutout of that with the zip line. I've used that repeatedly in memes.
Yeah. Right. Moving on.
Mm.
Other explanations are earth rumbles. Well, we talked about that, like earthquakes and things, but that shouldn't really be that consistent, should it?
Well,
Should it?
no, not necessarily. I mean, not unless it's some, because it doesn't necessarily have to be an earthquake or a volcano. It could be some geological process that's happening all the time. Maybe even just the mantle moving around the crust or whatever.
Mhm.
But maybe there's some sort of process in the earth which is causing a particular vibration that certain people are sensitive to.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
the fact
okay.
that there's only a small proportion of people that actually hear it suggests a definite link between some sort of physiological difference that exists within them, some sort of heightened sensitivity to something, electricity or whatever.
Right. Okay. Wind shear.
Wind shear.
Yeah, the jet stream basically rubbing up against the lower atmosphere.
It's as good as
I'm
maybe.
throwing
isn't it-
possible explanations at you, right?
Well, the thing is, because it's low vibration,
Yeah.
it might be something that's actually coming. It just feels more like it's coming from underneath than above.
Okay. Harp.
Yeah. Maybe harp is causing the bloody tinnitus as well.
Could be.
Maybe
But
maybe the
harp's meant
hum
to
and the
be
tin.
off. Is it not meant to be off? I thought it was off.
Well, I've just seen videos that the installation in Alaska was shut down. Well, I think it was transferred over to
Yeah,
academics for
it was.
research.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen two videos on Twitter in the last 3 or 4 days of different arrays. There's someone that discovered one on some totally remote island in the South Pacific or South Atlantic, somewhere just hell and gone from anywhere else, where there's a massive array.
Mhm.
And then there was another one, I can't remember from where, but it's basically like a massive wall, which could also potentially be some sort of
Oh,
sophisticated over the horizon sort of radar, which
yeah.
but I'm not convinced that it's been shut down. In fact, I suspect that once they proved the technology in Alaska, they realized that the Alaskan installation was getting far too much attention from people like us, and then decided to just shut it down and moved it to other more secret places or
Yeah.
more remote places. Because I mean, if you're going to influence the ionosphere, and in so doing create some sort of changes pretty much anywhere in the world by bouncing shit around, then do you necessarily need to have it in that one place? You could always find better locations for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the next one. DUMS stroke underground alien dwellers.
Or Hollow Earth, if we're going to extend that
Yeah,
particular rabbit hole down a bit further. I mean,
Hollow Earth.
the deep underground military bases are definitely a thing. I mean, it would kind of explain why people who hear it when they move away from certain locations hear it less.
Well, it explains the localized one, but not the world hum.
Well, yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, the world hum, that has to be related to something electromagnetic.
Okay.
That's
Well, we'll go on to possible. I've got possible explanations, and then I've got reasons for coming to a conclusion at the end. I think we can actually come to a conclusion at the end of this one. So tech, i.e.,
well,
5G, 4G, 3G, whatever.
I mean that could potentially be
It could be
a cause.
I think,
I've wondered whether that's not a cause of tinnitus as well.
yeah, but you've got to remember that people have effectively been reporting the hum since 1700s, before the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not tech. Anyway, or is it indeed self-generated?
Self-generated in what sense?
Well,
Like they're hearing their own
tinnitus.
heartbeat, or
No, like tinnitus. Tinnitus is self-generated.
yeah, but is it? Because it's
I don't
something
know, you
that's
tell me.
because I mean it's like we were talking last week about how what we perceive as reality is just electrical signals interpreted by our brains, but in every single case, that sensation
Mhm.
is coming from somewhere. It's like when you touch something, when you see something, when you hear something, when you taste something, etc. They're all outside stimuli. I mean, unless our brains are somehow making that shit up and making it sound like it's a high pitched sound or a low pitched sound, I'm not dismissing it as a possibility. I mean, the human brain is
Yeah.
is an
Is
amazing
indeed.
thing.
Well, we have discussed the human brain on a number of occasions, and we're still to come to a conclusion.
Well, it sounds given how well our brains work and how good they are at doing what they're doing, making up random sounds to drive themselves crazy seems a bit stupid. There's no
Yeah, okay, but right, okay.
because that's effectively what it's doing. If
Well,
it's
yeah, well, not necessarily, because tinnitus could be do they not reckon that tinnitus is to do with damaged, the little hairs in your canale? Is it not to do with damaged hairs in your canale?
That's possible.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, right, so here's a couple of things about the hum that are peculiar to it, or peculiar to people who can hear the hum. And remember, it's only 4% or so of the population that can hear the hum. I don't think I can hear the hum. Do you hear the hum?
No,
No.
at least I can't hear it. Maybe it's there. If there was no tinnitus, I might hear that.
Well, the tinnitus is in a completely different range. I mean, that tinnitus is quite high up. I would say it's quite high up the frequency range.
Right. No, I don't hear anything in the low frequency.
So, so after 2 hours or more in an aircraft, the hum tends to go away for 2 to 3 days.
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
I mean, that would suggest something from the planet, because if you disconnect yourself from the planet,
Yeah, but why would you not hear it for 2 or 3 days once you're back on the planet?
yeah, very good point.
The hum can be heard by those who are deaf or who have lost their hearing.
Oh, that must suck.
Yeah.
God, imagine being completely deaf and just hearing this background hum. You'd go insane.
Yeah.
You would literally just lose your marbles.
As Ray says, pressure differences may account for the change in the hum after you've been in the air. Different people hear different frequencies. So what the World Hum Database does is it asks you to go onto an online tone generator and find a tone that matches your hum. Just zip up and down until you match your hum. And that may be quite a good exercise. Maybe we should all do this, all our tinnitus sufferers. Get on and get onto an online tone generator and see if you can identify what frequency your tinnitus is at. Because if it's all the same, then we've got something, right? But if it's all different, it's probably self-generated. But imagine if it was all the same. Then we would have something to investigate.
But you would think that if it was, surely someone's already done this sort of experiment.
Why? Why do you think anyone would be so stupid as to consider it?
Good point. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, you're not going to get universities and PhDs and all that looking at this kind of stuff because they're not going to get funding on that.
But I don't feel like spending hours listening to a tone generator.
You don't have to. Oh, for God's sake, man, you've only got to whip up and down the frequencies a few times to find the one that matches your tinnitus. I'm not asking you to spend hours. A couple of minutes at most. If you can't spare a couple of minutes, then you're no good to me, man.
Oh, dear John and his quest for science.
So get back to me, people. You get there, get me the frequencies. So there you go. Harold's done his. His is 1 kilohertz, right? That's good, Harold. Excellent. So we've got one. See, we've got a result in already, Ed. So after this show, you get onto a tone generator and work out where we are. See, Harold says it takes like a minute. A 1 kilohertz minute.
Okay, I'll do it.
Right, next one. It's not EMF.
It's not EMF.
It's not EMF, right? Because, excuse me, I've got to send my wife a picture. She wants a picture of the pork belly.
But we're specifically talking about the hum not being
right. So the hum is not EMF because Dr. McPherson, right, went. Yeah, just fucking slow down. So Dr. McPherson went to the what's it called? Why have I got no pictures? Right.
Can you tell your wife we're doing a podcast? at the
Yeah,
moment?
fuck that.
It's a piece of
forget
pork for crying
Forget
out loud.
it, yeah, forget it. Right, so the Dr. McPherson built a box. He built a mild steel box that eradicated all EMF frequencies, right? He then
Yeah.
climbed into said box.
Right.
And to be fair, it did just look like a giant steel coffin with a hole in the top that he covered with a steel plate. So he basically sealed himself in a electromagnetically dead zone, which was a steel coffin, and he could still hear the hum.
Right. Okay.
Right. So the hum is not EMF. I think. Well, he went in there with 3 other people, so it was a fairly big steel coffin. But I think it's quite conclusive that we have a number of people who have now identified that it can't be EMF because they completely sealed themselves off from EMF.
But with that box, did they also take into account some sort of low frequency vibration coming up through the ground? Was the box itself on rubber feet or anything like that? I wonder.
But that wouldn't be EMF. That would be
No, I know, but I'm just wondering what
Right,
else
so what I'm
apart from
saying is
EMF the box might have shielded them from.
Well, the boxes shielded them from EMF, so that's that. Now they took another guy who could hear the hum. In fact, I think was it NBC or somebody did it way back in the 90s. They took a guy down a mine, right? Because they thought if they took him down a mine, he wouldn't, a disused mine, he wouldn't be able to hear the hum because he'd be shielded by all the tons and tons of rock above him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, if anything, it's got louder. Right? So he could still hear the hum, but it got louder when he was at the bottom of the mine.
Right.
Okay, probably because it's quieter.
Yeah. Or
Right.
he's closer to. If the source is coming from the ground, then he's closer to that.
I think he's really, 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 really fucking close to the sound, because I think what we're kind of working out here is it's not a sound. I think it is internally generated. I think
Right.
it's tinnitus, right?
Or
It's
just a different form of tinnitus.
It's just a different form. And the thing is, if I said to you, if people say to you they've got tinnitus or they can hear a high pitched whine, right? First of all, you'll say, "Is your wife home?" And then they'll say, "Is it?" So you go to the doctor and say you can hear this high pitched whine in your ears all the time. You'll say you've got tinnitus, right? So generally, everybody believes you if you've got tinnitus, right? But because 85% of the population have had tinnitus at some point or another, people believe that quite readily, However, if I was to turn around to you and say, I can see purple striped rats running up and down the walls, right? And you looked at said wall and said, well, I can't. You're obviously hallucinating, right? Now,
well, you can have auditory hallucinations.
Yeah, well, you can. But the question is, why isn't it you that could be hallucinating? The purple striped rats may be running up and down the wall and you're not seeing them.
Right. Okay. No. That's just,
yeah.
Unless the purple.
Each incidence is as likely as the last.
Yeah. And I guess
really?
in some other dimension of space time, there may well be a universe that is bleeding into ours that has purple striped freaking rats in it.
So anyway, so what happens then is when people say they hear the hum, a lot of people say, well, you're imagining it. It's all in your mind, right? Well, I don't think it is in your mind. I think you're actually experiencing a proper you're experiencing an auditory sensation, but I don't think it's caused by an audio sound. I think it's caused by your body. Your anatomy has gone awry somewhere, right?
Yeah, but what?
Well, the same as tinnitus. If tinnitus is caused by dodgy hair follicles, there's no reason why you can't have a persistent low frequency hum caused by some damage to an auditory nerve. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, I'd
yeah,
accept that.
you
Sure.
know. And it seems to be probably the most sensible and simplest solution, other than the fact that there are hollow earth dwellers going bang, bang.
Maybe
bang.
maybe it's underground people having a rave or something.
Beats and Tape says you've got 14,600 in the hearing test. That's not what we want to know. If you've got tinnitus, match the frequency. Don't tell me your maximum hearing frequency. Good grief, man. Nobody cares about that. I tell you what I did notice last night, though. I'd noticed because I usually drift off to sleep listening to podcasts, usually around stupid subjects like this. And I noticed if I lie on my left, I can't hear as well. I think I'm starting to lose some hearing in my right ear.
You might be going a bit deaf.
What? I nearly got you. I nearly got you.
Ah, Christ! Even after at least a large glass and a half of red wine, I'm still not that slow.
Oh, you weren't far away. You weren't far away. Oh,
Oh dear. But it's, I mean, the whole thing is completely fascinating. I mean,
it is.
and whether it's caused by, I mean, trying to think of this in an Occam's razor simplest explanation is probably the most likely. But none of the explanations in this case are particularly simple. But of all of them, possibly some sort of auditory / nerve issue.
Yeah.
Maybe it's some sort of congenital thing. Maybe a certain proportion of the population are born with some kind of deformity in their, just a tiny, tiny little deformity, I don't know, in their eardrum or some part of their auditory nerves or something, which means that they perceive this hum. I didn't actually check this in my research, but did people hear it for their whole lives? Do kids hear it?
No, if you look at when people experience the hum, it seems to get more prevalent as one gets towards middle age, which tends to go with it's probably your body that's self-generating it, because tinnitus also has the same kind of bell curve. It goes towards the people in middle age, and of course it drops off as people get older because people die, and that's why it drops off.
And it's also, you have to wonder whether it's exactly the same hum, because obviously because different people will perceive tinnitus in a different way, and a low frequency hum, it may well be a group of different frequencies rather than just one as well.
It could be, could be. So it sounds like Cellini's got tinnitus as well, by the sound of things. White noise, yeah. I mean, tinnitus is just like a constant.
Well, tinnitus is the high pitch, and this hum is the low pitch.
Yeah, so a white noise is more of a high pitch than a low pitch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it would make sense that if one is caused by some sort of damage, then the other one might be as well.
Yeah.
And again, it could be age. I mean, it could just be physiological changes relating to the slow creep towards middle age, as they say.
Yeah, and to be honest, you get used to it. It used to drive me nuts, but you get used to it. You kind of tune it out. Your brain kind of just tunes it out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, with the tinnitus, it changes. It's not constant.
Yeah, sometimes it's louder than others. Other times it's right in your face, and sometimes you forget it's there. You know, it might even have gone because you've forgotten about it, and then it'll wiggle its way back in.
Maybe this physiological, maybe it's actually a combination of an external source like the massive increase in EMF that we're all subjected to now, causing some kind of damage in the auditory nerves, which are massively sensitive to such things.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if, I mean, you're saying people heard the hum going way back when?
1760.
1760.
Yeah, well, they used to report it as hearing like a far off giant swarm of bees because you didn't have much to,
Mm.
you know, to thing it against. Because I mean, people nowadays would say it's like a truck droning in the background, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that never gets further away or never changes, or like a you know, like a diesel train idling somewhere, that kind of thing.
Maybe all the theories about Hollow Earth are correct.
Maybe they are.
It's, I mean, that's why these things are interesting to ponder, because there is actually no answer for it, and just throwing a subject around can be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, I got no answers for it. My theories about Schumann resonance and things like that.
Well, that's human resonance isn't so much a noise, though, is it? As a
Well, it's the
what
extremely low frequency portion of the Earth's electromagnetic field spectrum, caused by global lightning discharges in the cavity formed by the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. Fundamental frequency is 7.83 hertz, with harmonics at approximately 14.3, 20.8, 27.3, and 33.8 hertz. And it's the idea about that it's got something to do with the hum goes back to some people being more sensitive to the extremely low frequencies.
yeah.
But the Schumann resonance is global, whereas the Taos hum is localized. I mean, it
Yeah,
could
well,
be
that's correct because that's a local hum, and they kind of I don't know if they've found the reason for the Taos hum, but there are other localized hums where they have found reasons. You know.
Mhm. I mean, the other thing is, I mean, what you were talking about, the global hum, maybe that's the Schumann resonance.
What
And
is it
the other
at a frequency though? What's the frequency?
well, that the thing is that the frequency of the Schumann resonance is generally below the range of human hearing. But that's not to say that some people might not have a range that is lower
But
than
then
the
again,
average
is the
or higher
Schumann
than the average.
is the Schumann resonance is it an electromagnetic wave? Because the
Uh,
box test rules it out then.
well, it's an electromagnetic resonance.
Yeah, so I think the box test rules that out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't necessarily rule out the Schumann resonance being connected to tinnitus. I've wondered that
No,
sometimes.
no, but then again, tinnitus is much higher frequency, is it not?
Yeah, generally.
So we seem to be going round in circles.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically we don't 100% know, but we pretty much think that both tinnitus and the hum are the human condition.
hmm
Yeah.
Or something similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a fairly short and sweet one this week,
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've
which
now
helps.
got the wonderful election results show coming up at 10 o'clock. Should be riveting. Get in there, people.
Oh dear. Yeah, elections. We promised we weren't going to talk about that, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, so apparently Ray has baby seagulls outside his window.
Oh, that's fun. Not.
Yeah. You don't want that. Oh, Spencer says he sometimes hears a hum. The vacuum cleaner left
Ray
on
just
some
hope that they
place in the
never learn to
distance.
start tapping.
Never found out what the sauce is. Interesting. I used to hear music when people around me couldn't hear music. Yeah, and it would be
Right.
like you know how you can just hear something, right? It's on right on the cusp. And
Well, it could.
I would be lying in bed or something and go, who the hell is playing music at this time of the morning or something like that?
Did you have more sensitive hearing as a child?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, while we're talking about noises, that hilarious story that where in New York where they found the Jewish tunnels leading here, there, and everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And then this guy comes up on Twitter because like 6 months previously he's posted saying I've got Jewish peoples in my walls. I can hear Yiddish, and
He
people
was
and
right.
literally, yeah. But there was a massive pylon of
Yeah, I know.
everyone accusing him of being an anti-Semite, and then when it was released in the news,
I
he
told
tweeted
ya.
again. Yes, I told you I'm not an anti-Semite. There were Jews in my walls. Oh, that's one of the funniest things I've seen on Twitter in a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, your lady says there's always someone on her estate having either a party or play music. Yeah, people are. See, I'm not. I mean, they say people are social animals, but are we? Are we really? I mean, I hate people. I mean, really, I do.
The
I mean,
the older I get, the more I appreciate my own company. Put it that way.
yeah. And people are always making annoying noises and things when really you just want to have a quiet life, you know. I should probably live in the middle of a forest. And even then they'd be going, who knocked that firkin tree down? Did you see the tree that got hit by lightning
No,
on Twitter? There was a tree got hit by lightning on Twitter and it just disintegrated. It just disappeared.
Jesus,
Yeah. No,
That-
no, I'm John.
that's powerful lightning.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the lightning is powerful. There's an awful lot of megajoules in a lightning strike, isn't there?
Mm.
And how many of them hit the earth every day, Ed? How many?
Millions.
No, how many? Come on, I told
Oh,
you
I
earlier.
can't. I can't remember. I got the
8 million
8
a
million.
day. 8 million a day. That's incredible. Imagine if you could harness that. You wouldn't need
But-
any power stations.
The planet, from our perspective, is rather large.
Well, indeed it is, but imagine if you could harness that electrical power.
Well, surely that.
Maybe
I mean,
Tesla could. Yeah.
Well,
And that's why
that's
he got.
that's the thing, and I mean, there's because when you actually stop and think about it, there is a massive amount of electrical power both in the atmosphere, because if hot air and cold air bumping into each other can create thunderstorms and lightning, then I mean it must. When you get lightning coming up out of the earth, there's probably
Well, there's
electric-
there's a massive potential difference, isn't there? Because the Earth's positive.
well, we've got
And-
positive and negative.
Yeah, but is the Earth mainly positive? And then for every, I think it's for every 3 feet you go up, it's something like, is it 10 volts or a volt or something? It's a fairly substantial electrical voltage change between, you know, here and 50,000 feet.
Yeah. That's also why they have to, when you get helicopters and stuff that land, you have to, particularly if you have a helicopter landing on a ship, they have
Yeah.
to degauss it
Yeah.
and neutralize the charge, particularly with helicopters, because the rotor blades going through the air actually creates static, I think.
Yeah. Remember when
you-
people used to drive about and then they'd get out of the car and there'd be a static discharge between their car and themselves?
Mm-hmm.
And then people used to put all those rubber strips on the back of their cars so they would drag along the ground and earth their car as they were driving. You never see them anymore.
No, we have two shops in Brighton that actually they have there's one that's WH Smith and another that's Robert Dias, and they have staircases in that I'm constantly getting static
Walking
charges up.
staircases or escalators?
No, just a normal
Really?
staircase rail. Yeah,
That's interesting.
I don't know whether it's just me or whether everyone gets that, but yeah. Right,
Right.
I think we've
think,
done that one.
Yeah, I think we've done it to death. So thank you very much, Ed.
Pleasure. Short and sweet.
Oh, I don't know about. Well, yeah, it was.
Well-
It was actually not a bad one. It was all right.
That's interesting.
It's hard doing a rabbit hole when you're sober. I'll give you that. And it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. But I like us to go off into one. You know, like when we go down our consciousness routes and that. Because I think they're great fun. But
Yeah, me too.
People-
No, I agree.
people listening to us probably think, "What are those two old boring buggers talking about?"
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I like it, and this one hasn't really allowed us to do that, and of course we are time constrained on this one because we've got to be ready for the big election day disaster.
Oh dear, yeah.
So it's the British Grand Prix this weekend, Ed.
Is there? I
You're
don't
not
really
a Formula
do.
One fan, no?
No, not really.
Okay, yeah. So
What's,
remember,
the
people.
Silverstone
So-
one.
Yeah, the Silverstone one. So
Right.
remember, people, like, share, subscribe because that costs you nothing. You can do that. Come on, you know you can. You know you want to. So get more eyes on the channel. See if we can build it up a little bit. Come back at just before 10 o'clock, and we will be live streaming. Me and Ben. Now, Ben has had a bit of a disaster. I'll probably not mention it, but he probably will. So I'll leave it to him to tell you. But yeah, he phoned me in a distressed condition. He's okay. His family are okay. But something has occurred. But I'm sure he'll be telling us at 10 o'clock. And in case he's late, that'll be why. But he is perfectly fine and untouched. But yeah.
He's not been arrested or anything, has he?
No, nothing's happened to him or his family, right? But a disaster has occurred in the household. Well,
Oh, dear.
it actually happened in the backyard. So
Oops.
there we go.
Well, I have
Why
to
don't we
choose.
say something? Yazzie, why are you bashing on about chemtrails? This isn't a chemtrails exercise, my dear. It just isn't. This is. What were we talking about tonight? What were we talking about, Ben? No, you're not Ben. You're Ed.
The hum.
I know we were talking about the hum. I'm at it. But anyway, I'm not Joe Biden, but I am getting there. So Joe Biden's just. What did you think of that debate, Ed?
Oh my god, it was a disaster.
Wasn't
And
it?
and it was hilarious because there was nothing they could do to hide it.
I know.
And they've basically been hiding his decline pretty much since he got elected.
Well, you say hiding, right? How? Because
Well-
let's face it, anyone who has a pair of eyes and a pair of ears knows the man is a dementia case. So tell me, how have the world's press not picked up on this?
Well, because he hardly does any interviews. He hardly does any campaigning that's not in front of rich donors. He's always got someone to hold his hand, and I wouldn't be surprised if they have body doubles and stuff like that for the days that he is really, really bad. But I mean, he's not. This is not the leader of the free world. This is not someone that you want to
he's
have
not.
control over nuclear
Oh, he's
weapons.
gone. He's gone. He's not got control over his bladder, mate. Never mind
Exactly.
nuclear weapons.
And that then begs the question of who's actually running the United States. And when you look at the potential candidates, they're all bloody disaster because they're all.
Do you not think Jill's
morons.
running the United States at the moment?
Oh my god!
It's
Just-
frightening.
Well,
Isn't it?
or maybe Hunter Biden. Jesus, can you imagine? I mean, at
He's
this
just
point
like a
in
taller
clown world,
version of Zelensky, isn't he?
yeah. I mean, at this point in clown world, nothing would surprise me.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't. What was I going to say? Barabada. Chemtrails and the hum might be connected. No. I don't think they had anybody flying around spraying chemtrails in the 1760s.
Yeah, that's the
Correct
thing.
me if I'm wrong, but
Well, if it's something that's been heard by people going back hundreds of years,
yeah,
then that kind of rules out a lot of modern, like EMFs, 3G, 4G,
exactly.
5G, etc.
It's a human condition. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Trust me on this one.
I think we'll have to conclude it's a part of the human condition until we.
I need to get a gavel.
No,
Solved.
no,
Right.
because we rarely solve anything, and we
But
haven't really
on the one
solved it.
occasion
This
that
is-
we could, I could go.
No, this is just
Solved.
this is you jumping in there and
Oh,
going,
okay.
I have the solution.
The judge has spoken. Solved. Bang.
No, not even
No?
Judge Knapp has a gavel. Come on.
No, he doesn't. I know. Judge Nappa's good though.
He's excellent. Yeah, no, his
Well, actually, his guests are better because the judge doesn't really do much apart from try and sell you gold or silver.
well he asks good questions, but he's
Yeah, but he
just
asks the same questions to every guest.
Yeah, that's one thing that's a bit annoying about him is when you watch.
When you watched
particularly-
one, you could skip all his bits out, couldn't you?
Yeah, no, I always do because there's only so many times in a week that I can stomach listening to someone like Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah. Aye, because he plays the same clips as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, it's been fun. Thank you, John. Good
It's
luck
been
with
fun.
your election special later,
Thank you, Ed.
and thank you, audience, as well.
And we'll talk about something to talk about next week. Something
Yep.
juicy.
Yep, try and pull
I
our
don't know
fingers
where
out of
to
our
go.
butts a bit
In
quicker.
fact, you people out there, you think about it. Send us some suggestions, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure there's some
You
people.
know where we are. We live on
Bex,
Twitter.
if you're listening, this is your moment.
This is your moment.
Right. And we're always up for ideas, so get in touch.
Always. We will embrace anything within reason.
I was going to say, yeah.
And as always, it's been great for you.